Okay, so don't get your hopes up. It's not like this is a build guide or anything. But I did a little, like, mini league start type of run with Monk, just to see how it would feel up to and including the first Ascension. And then I grabbed Invoker and just picked up I Am the Thunder because why not? But at this point, I'm like, well, this will deviate so far from Martial Artist, and I can't pick Martial Artist yet. So that's kind of where the run ended, just like part of the way through Act 2. And let me tell you something. Hollow Palm felt really good as soon as I grabbed it. And you can probably see by my skill bar that before Hollow Palm, I just used Killing Palm, Falling Thunder. And then as soon as I picked up Hollow Palm, I started using Tempest Flurry plus the Bell, with these still just chilling there for fun. So I guess that's kind of, I'm just going to talk a little bit about how this run went. First things first, I think I already got rid of it, unfortunately. You can see the stuff that I dropped. -1 Exalted Orb. I had 1 Exalted Orb, a couple augmentations, and these 3 runes, because I learned that solo self-found is like a separate league. Instead of being self-found as in per character, it's self-found as in per player. So the stuff up to this Exalted Orb, not counting numbers because they stack, and 1 of these Exalted Orbs was from a previous run, but I didn't use those anyway. But I got really lucky with a quarterstaff for Falling Thunder. It had like physical damage, elemental damage, crit, attack speed, and plus levels to melee gems. So leveling until I got to Hollow Palm felt great. But then once I got to Hollow Palm, this just made it really easy. So that's the start. I grabbed these ones for the combo, but I wouldn't actually grab these nodes if you're leveling. I just grabbed them because I knew that this run wasn't going so far, and I was like, maybe you can get me the Bell a little bit more to help with the trial of the Sekimas. But that's kind of, well, not it. That's not it. But that's what I think the plan is going to be for leveling. I think I might go across this way instead of grabbing this skill speed, attack damage, dag, and cast speed, which is nice with this shock stuff. I think I might almost just like resign myself to a respec and start out with this way. Grab some evasion rating and energy shield, movement speed, and then go through the cold. And then the same way, work my way over here, grab this little attack speed wheel, potentially skip these 2 nodes here, skip tenfold and attack speed, so that I can get to Hollow Palm as soon as possible, because I definitely want to have Hollow Palm before Geonor. And the reason I might go cold is I did Killing Palm, Falling Thunder into Tempest Flurry, and I'm going to do another one of these runs shortly after I record this, and by shortly after I record this, I mean on stream tomorrow. Be there, or don't, but it'll just be a short run up to Ascension, where I go cold instead. Instead of Falling Thunder, Killing Palm, Tempest Flurry, it'll be Glacial Cascade, Frozen Locust, Ice Strike. I said tomorrow, but tomorrow's a Saturday, so don't quote me on that. It might be Monday. You might have to wait until Monday. But, you know, be there anyway? Fuck if I know. Point is, Frozen Locust, Glacial Cascade, Ice Strike, and just go for all the cold skills. Tempest Spell as well. It would be Frozen Locust, Glacial Cascade. The downside to doing that is that neither of these are strike skills, so I wouldn't be able to build combo with Tempest Bell. I don't believe. So, you know, I would have to actually wait until Ice Strike for Tempest Bell. Whereas Killing Palm let me throw down some Tempest Bells earlier. But if I get enough level 3, or if Glacial Cascade, I don't think it does, counts as striking. It doesn't have the strike thing, so I wouldn't think it does. But that's going to be the plan. I'm going to test that out to see how that feels, mostly once I've gotten to the Hollow Palm technique, which again felt very strong for leveling, because with the lightning path, I got an extremely strong quarterstaff extremely early, so I was like, well, I can't really expect that to happen. It will also allow me to, while working on the cold synergies, potentially do something Wave of Frost. I don't think so, but Freezing Mark, which will help me against like rares and stuff. That could be nice. And then some obvious other stuff that isn't really here to mention. I was thinking of other ways to generate power charges. And I didn't come up with this, so don't think it was me. I don't have any spirit gems, so I can't show it to you. But occult, this is for later on in the game. Is it not under occult? Oh, it is right here. I'm blind. Profane ritual. Marks a corpse with a profane rune, dealing chaos damage over time to nearby enemies. When ritual is complete, the corpse is consumed and you gain a power charge. So you throw that in with less duration, plus all of the bells will have less duration, so that will also potentially get you power charges with culling. And then if you have the extra spirit available, depending on what stuff you're using for spirit, you just grab the... Again, I don't have any spirit gems, so I can't show it right now, unless I wanted to put any effort at all into these videos, and I mean, come on. There's the sacrifice gem with some minions, and the sacrifice gem allows you to use your minions instead of corpses, but makes them take longer to respawn. So I can use Profane Ritual on my minions with a super low duration, which will... it will mark them. They will eventually, after, in this right now 2 seconds, but with less duration stuff, significantly less, I would hope. They would die, give me a power charge, and then they would eventually respawn. Plus I'd have the bells in there. We'll see, you have to see endgame if Profane Ritual is even necessary. But I guess actually I have a level 7, so I can kind of show that off. It won't be a perfect example, but... Profane Ritual. I don't know if the ritual duration lasts longer the higher the gem level is, so you might just want to have this be level 7 as its lowest. I don't know if it actually really matters at all, but I could just grab compressed duration. Or overabundance, because it has 50% less as opposed to 30% less. Which also gives you more active rituals available. So now, the ritual duration of 1 second, which means anytime I mark a corpse, or in the case of sacrifice, a minion after 1 second, even less once I can throw in like compressed duration and potentially swift affliction if it can support this. Power charges. Again, this is not tech that I came up with. This is tech that I just found while looking in, found other people posting about while I was looking into ways to generate power charges in case, the likely case that the images count as proxies and do not give you power charges. I will need other ways to generate power charges. And then you throw Profane Ritual with all of these things into like a cast on crit probably setup, or potentially a cast on minion death, but then you would need something to start the loop. But we shall see. If I do end up doing Profane Ritual in cast on crit for the power charges, I can have something else, like a curse maybe, I don't know, in a cast on minion death, because this will be killing my minions as well. And that will only really matter on boss fights. It will be perfectly fine to kill just enemies, and then Profane Ritual could be cast on the corpses instead. I don't know what cast on crit will prioritize. But all of that kind of explains what's happening post-Hollow Palm. And I mean, there was a little bit of the explanation of what's happening pre-Hollow Palm. You know, Killing Palm, Falling Thunder. I'll test out the cold version within the next couple of days. But if anyone knows anything that's just like significantly better, please tell me. Because I get the feeling that my super crazy quarterstaff is what made Falling Thunder, Killing Palm feel really good. Again, I'll test the ice stuff. But basically, I just need someone to tell me how to get through Act 1 the fastest on Monk. Plus, I thought I'd give a little bit of an update. Once we get the actual Monk Showcase, I'll give a bigger update. Won't be a guide, but it'll be a bigger update on the build in general, like the whole build as it stands. And then again, one more once patch notes come out. Once patch notes come out, I'll see if there's any changes to Monk between Showcase and patch notes, or Martial Artist specifically. Plus just a bunch of other changes that might happen to, say, Hollow Palm. Hollow Palm might get some changes. To Killing Palm, the Killing Palm, which will be kind of like my end game thing, which is part of the reason why I started it. To Profane Ritual, to Sacrifice, to Quarterstaffs, and our unarmed stuff in general. We shall see. But unfortunately, yesterday's video didn't get GGG to show me Martial Artist early, and even if it did, I promised in the thumbnail that I wouldn't tell anyone. So I guess you'll never know, but you can make the obvious assumption that that shit didn't happen. Would have been cool though, right? Anyway, I'll keep giving updates on my tests once I run the cold version of the leveling test for Act 1. I will give updates on that. Of course, I'd like to stick with Quarterstaff, but if it turns out, if, you know, people watch this video and they hear me say, please tell me how to get through Act 1 on Monk fastest, and they're like, you just gotta bite the bullet and go, like, crossbows with explosive grenades. I've heard that's really good, that's why I'm bringing it up. Then it'll be like, alright, sure. I'll bite the, well, not bullet. I'll bite the grenade, I guess, and just do that for early Act 1. It's not like I'll have to worry about, like, holding on to quarterstaffs or anything. So, we will see. But here's my new, well, once again, not a complaint, not a demand, not a build guide. My new request for GGG. Don't show it to just me. You're right, that would be unfair. Show it to me and one other random person of your choosing. I still promise I won't share it until the public release. It's not gonna happen. Again, that'd be real fucking cool, but you wouldn't know. I would, but you wouldn't. You could make a pretty damn good assumption. Anyway, update done. Oh yeah, I also got this thing while leveling, for what that's worth. And I just threw it on because it's a unique. I don't think it's actually very good. In fact, it's probably hurt me a little bit because I didn't have the consistent regen, which early is probably a little bit better, but doesn't really matter, does it? It was a run up to Ascension. Oh yeah, since I'm talking about Ascension, because I don't want to end this video yet, I guess, for some fucking reason. I'll probably grab Bells first. This will be solidified post-patch notes. I'll have a good idea of how this is going to go on once the showcase comes out for Martial Artist, assuming there will be, which I am assuming. It's a good assumption to make. I'll have a good idea of if I'm going to go Hollow Form or Bells first, which I believe is called Hollow Focus. But once patch notes come out, I will know for sure if I'm going Hollow Form or Hollow Focus first. My assumption right now is Bells. I will probably go Bells first, because that will allow me, even without like the Profane Ritual Sacrifice tech, that will allow me to generate power charges on boss fights, which Falling Thunder, when it consumed power charges and hit a Tempest Bell, did a lot of damage, and I'm really bad at the Jamin-Ra fight, so just having the damage for that could be really nice. But if it turns out that the Ice Strike just feels like really, really good, even better than Falling Thunder with power charges, I mean, it won't feel better than Falling Thunder with power charges, but if the fact that it doesn't require power charges makes it feel better, then I might go Hollow Form first and just do Hollow Form Ice Strike early. And then once I've got more Ascendancy points and some gear and a more fleshed out tree, then I'll switch over to the like hollow form killing palm or hollow form flicker strike with some other form of power charge generation. Hollow form flicker strike obviously is not happening before level 52, by the way, but that is all stuff I will find out later. It's also really a shame. Last thing, I promise the video is almost over. It's a real shame that this right here, the hollow palm technique, only gives you attack speed. Obviously, it would be way too strong if... Wait, never mind. I can't. I don't. You don't care about it, the cast speed for cast on crit. And this only matter. But what I was thinking of was the cast on crit, profane ritual, which kills your minions. Then you could have cast on minion for like an arc or something. Just because I like the kind of theme of. Like I like the thematic feel of punching with your fists in one form or another, and it shooting out lightning bolts everywhere. I think that's really cool. But I was like, oh, but these won't. But Hollow Palm won't scale the spells, which is fine because maybe Hollow Palm just does enough that you can focus entirely on scaling lightning damage. And because I mean, a lot of these things are just say lightning, not like attacks deal better elemental. This doesn't say, you know, increase elemental damage with attacks. It just says elemental damage. So this will handle all of my attack stuff. But I feel like spells really need the plus levels from a weapon, so... And this needs both of your hand slots to be empty. So... The cast on minion death is probably just going to be some, like, support type spell. If I end up going with that tech, it will probably be lightning stuff. I mean, it's physical. It's going to be physical damage from Hollow Palm, at least for the start. We'll see what Quarterstaff and Unarmed changes end up being, if there are any. But since that's so much physical damage, I'll have Falling Thunder as a potential way. I'll have Charged Staff. Those are like really good ways to get a lot of damage out of your power charges. Flicker Strike, obviously. I'll have to see, but the point is that would probably just be like my cast on minion death would be a curse. It would be an elemental weakness or a vulnerability if I stick to physical for a while. Maybe a temp change to slow, but that I don't think matters too much. Maybe an enfeeble, because it'll mostly be up against bosses and rares, so making them deal a little bit less damage is quite nice. Remember when I finished talking about everything I actually wanted to talk about, like 10 minutes into this? I mean, you didn't know that I had finished talking about everything I wanted to talk about, but I was done. But then I somehow managed to talk about other stuff for another 8 minutes. To be fair, it's fun to talk about games I like. And I like Path of Exile too. And it seems like they're making it better. And I like Monk. Shame, by the way, last thing. Is this the third last thing or the second last thing? It's really a shame that the monks got hair.
This isn't the place.
This isn't the place, by the way. Can you please turn to look to the side? You can see the hair. You don't need him to be sideways to see the hair. It's really a shame. I wish Monk was bald.